welcome to the first ever podcast of the Roadrunners. Brought to you by your host, Jason Bleach, as known as Jeech. Right here, we got a very special guest. My boy, my long
Skinny
lashes.
penis.
My boy, a long friend of mine from the competitive Call of Duty scene since AW. My boy, Kevin Proph. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Man, I've
Been a minute.
Dude, it's been so long. The amount of history we have with each other, the amount of roast, the shit talking, bro, it never gets old. We still shit talk till this day, bro. You know.
Yeah, but it's funny though, and it's worth it. You know what I mean?
It is funny, but with the process of like how long we've known each other and competed, we've always had our battles, but we always stuck together, like no matter what. Bro, I can't.
Yeah, for sure. Your problem was just that you sucked.
Oh yeah, I sucked as an OBJ player, ASM1. Bro, I was the asset of the team. That is a proven fact. We just
Player's
couldn't
the
find-
asset, man.
The objective player is always the like it's the team. Like we get bitched at.
Yeah, but you can't play the objective if I'm not doing my job and slaying out.
Oh yeah, no shit. I
You know
could
what
slay
I
a
mean?
once in a blue moon back in that time, but like there's always a thinking process in it. There's no other way of like putting it towards that.
Yeah, right.
So, anyways, man, like I don't know, we've been off and on talking. We still connect with each other. We've always been busy people. Man, I don't know, like what are you today in society?
I mean, I own my own team, Tenacity Gaming,
Yep.
sponsored by Roadrunners. So,
Yes, sir.
well, more of a partnership than anything, I feel like. But I don't know, just trying to make my way in this world, man. Working hard, trying to get somewhere.
Mhm.
Tired of just being at the bottom. It's time to get to the top where we belong. So I think I'm just working really hard to get there.
For sure.
We've been at the bottom for too long, man. Underrated.
Underrated 100%. Like there's multiple times in the process of you trying to build something and it just collapsed based on the amount of stress and stuff like that, trying to find the team, trying to compete and all that stuff. Like the way you went through things and the way you wanted to run the team, not a lot of people process through that. So your thing was,
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think the main thing really was that we were just young, man. We were young and nobody really wanted to stick through it. You know, people couldn't take a loss because we were all 16, 17 years old just trying to play. And when we lost, we got upset and pissed off and just blamed it on everyone else but ourselves. But now I think, especially the team that I got going on, we're a lot older. We kind of know our way around the world now, so we're not just a bunch of pissed off little testosterone-filled kids anymore.
Yeah.
So we can make it work.
You guys are more mature now to the point where you guys can take the laws, you guys can negotiate, look over VODs and stuff like that in the process of building. Because starting up a team is the hardest thing to ever do in eSports now. Like it's hard because the way the COD is doing it, the Halo, like there's games out there that are in the competitive scene, but you also gotta picture what's the big picture. Like you're taking the risk of having these COD teams compete in challengers when it's nearly impossible at this very moment to even get the point of the CDL. Because the way I was listening to a podcast, it was Hector Rodriguez, aka Optic Hex, and it was Scumpy, Formal, it was either Hitch or Maniac. They were all talking, and kids now these days, or teams winning, they literally can only get picked up from what I've heard. Like it's literally impossible to have your own state in that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the biggest I feel like that's the worst thing that Call of Duty has ever done is franchising, because now I don't know, like when I was younger and like actually started getting into Call of Duty,
Right.
my number one thing was I want to go pro. And back then it was simple, you know what I mean? You win, you play, you win, you play in the pro circuit. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance to win against pros. But now it's more or less who's got the fucking most money and who can pay for a franchise, a spot in the franchise. And, most kids don't just have 25 million fucking dollars laying around, you know what I mean? So to me, it's just, it kills the dream of becoming a pro Call of Duty player. And that's what I feel like has kept the scene alive, is just the thought. Like, yeah, 95% of these kids, they're not even close to good enough to make it pro, but at least they could dream about it, you know what I mean? Now it's just like, well, it's never going to happen, so what's the point? And a lot of kids don't play anymore because of it. They'd rather go play Fortnite or Apex or something like that where they can make it by themselves. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's just my take on it,
for an
really.
example, like Warzone's bopping right now in tournaments. Tournament winnings, streaming, like a lot of small streamers are growing now from like what they were averaging back when they were doing the competitive, the GBs and all that stuff. Like a lot of people have rotated into Warzone when they're competitive because they can still keep that competitive asset, but also make money in the process and create content. So the way like it's so hard because the amount of fans and people actually caring about the game and grinding for it is so shocking on how people and just in general, like MLG for an example, UMG, ESL, like there was multiple tournaments for people to place and get noticed and go to, like there were small teams that could go to Call of Duty XP and stuff like that just for that process.
Yeah.
Like there's multiple teams that I've seen that were small, like 5K followers in that tournament, in the CDL tournament open bracket. Because you go through the open bracket, you win all your open bracket matches, and then it's the top 16 teams, and then in that process, and then day 3 was top 8, and it was single elimination or double elimination. So they would have, like, it was always the top 4 teams, like top 8 teams. They would have all 8 teams in the upper bracket, and then have 2... like 9 and 10 or something like that in the lower bracket to have a chance, but whoever loses from the upper bracket goes the loser, and they have to beat that team to continue on in the process of the lower bracket. But from the franchising mode of what they did for Call of Duty, I think they should have waited, and because they're just turning out like
I don't think it should ever be applied.
Franchising is for League of Legends, Dota, and Counter-Strike and Overwatch. I think those are the franchising games in a way. But I think Call of Duty isn't ready for franchising. The way new up-and-comers are like really grinding, and then they're like, well, now I got to be the best of the best, play in these challengers and get top 4 in challengers to even get noticed by pros, for an example. Like some ex-pros like are struggling with that because they're not getting the offers, because they're keeping consistency. Go ahead.
And what really kills it, I think, mostly right now for me, like I own a team, right? So if me playing competitively with my 4-man, say we were in challengers and we win a couple cups and we want to go pro, or so be it. We're not all going to get an offer. You know what I mean? We can't go as a full team. Tenacity will never be in the pro circuit as a team. It's going to be, Proph gets dragged up, and now I'm leaving my team behind, and giving up my dream of having my own successful team. So now you kind of got to sacrifice your dream I don't even know, man. It's really hard to comment on it. Kind of really is upsetting. I feel like it really killed the scene, man. But they're making a lot of money, so
It killed the
I
scene, but
mean,
also in your process of like how you're explaining it. Like, yeah, you leave your team, but you could also move into the process of like your actual future of what you wanted to be, a pro gamer. Yeah, I know it's hard to say. It's like a lot of teams now are expanding into different platforms of gaming, fighting games,
yeah,
battle royale games, like Clash Clans, Clash Royale, like Fortnite, like multiple games. Rogue Company, for an example, they're not even gonna do anything. Halo, like there's multiple games that won't franchise for a reason. They have those regional people. So if Call of Duty did it a different way of doing a regional championships, picking top pros to play for their state in a regional big event for like the biggest event, like second biggest event, like X Games when they did X Games for like only 3 years and then they stopped. Like they need to do
yeah,
something like that, but also um, have a branding state. So, for an example, Optic, they're Chicago, Optic Chicago. They that's them if they went into something like a second big tournament.
right.
Multiple teams like they can grind these 2Ks, make 2 grand, 200 like pro points or whatever, but they should at least like UMG and MLG needs to step up and start hosting small tournament winnings for people that actually want to make this a living and also still do content, because the people that are doing these competitive like this competitive game in Call of Duty, they have to physically stream or make content to be able to even expand themselves into a bigger environment like the pro circuit. That's why
Right.
that's why I'm
Eh,
actually kind of sad that they don't have the top AM type local leagues, or they don't have the semi pros, or even an open bracket tournament for $25,000, like how they used to for MLG and UMG, CS like ESL, although like UGC like or MES like I remember that tournament, the Mississauga event. Like that tournament was huge for people because it was a local type brand. And then you got uh N- NJR, like the New Jersey ROD tournaments, like local tournaments and stuff like that. But a lot of those people are dying. That's why these people are creating these online leagues for teams to actually make money.
mhm.
Like they have the qualifiers. This is how much you win for qualifiers. If you qualify, then they'll pick the top 8 teams or 16 teams, split them up in groups, and then they play for a group play for $5,000. But their buy-in is like $100
Right.
a team. It's just it's so shitty how these these companies and branding and all that stuff is taking advantage of like these new up and comers that can actually grow and grow the like the just the competitive COD scene more.
Right.
Like so it doesn't die out. It's dying out. It's gonna die out. Like when's the last time you've really seen 100K people watching CDL? Not a lot.
It's not even close.
It's only for certain teams. Optic versus LA Thieves. Like they had over like two something, but when it's for an example Paris versus Toronto Ultra, it's 50K.
Yeah, yeah.
They specifically watch only certain people. But if you had a huge open bracket, back to back games of the main stage, Bravo beat like Bravo, Alpha, like Charlie and Delta, like how they did in AW,
Mhm.
because they were streaming the brackets, the open brackets, they were streaming this semi pro open bracket and they were streaming the pro bracket. But they had all slot, like there was always single, like two slots or single slot, in the grouping for these open bracket people to fill in. So they compete in the
Right.
group for day 2 and day 3, and then day 3 is like the main part. That's where everyone combined it. But they're not thinking about that and how they could really grow themselves in any ways possible.
No, I feel like I mean, to me, franchising, like I said, it just fucking killed it because it just killed everyone's vibe. It's impossible now, man. It's like unless you're the best of the best, you have no shot. You know, back in the day, dudes like Pac-Man could play professionally. You know what I mean? That dude
Yeah,
was trash, but he was still playing professionally.
Same with Goonjar. Goonjar was not a good player, but he was a good team asset that kept the team together. Pac-Man, for example, he wasn't good, but he kept the team together. The sad part is that people make so much enemies to the point where you can't get picked up. Parasite, for an example. Fuck, when's the last time that guy's been on a pro team?
I don't even know. I mean, I think the problem now is like they're stacking teams so heavily. Like Optic, for example, has 4 big egos on the team. Like you can't have
Dashy.
4 people with huge egos that think they're the best of the best on the same team. It's just not going to mesh.
Yeah, because they have who? They have Scump, Formal, Dashy, and
Envoy.
Yeah, like it. That's a stacked team. Then you got 100 Thieves with Kenny, T8, like TJ Holly, and like them. But they have 2.
I think they just picked up Huke too.
Yeah, they just picked up Huke. So, and then Clayster, Krim, like the only team I don't think that's stacked is probably Paris and Toronto Ultra. Like they don't have stacked players.
Yeah.
But
which is weird because Toronto just won. They just won the major, and they weren't even even close to like being a favorite to win the major. No. Like Rocker probably should have won that, but
yeah, like it's so irritating to see the COD community just drift away from the competitiveness into something that they know it's reliable and is consistent. Like they were consistent.
Right now, I think they're way more focused on earnings than they are anything else. They don't care about, you know, who wants to watch the shit or whatever the case. They just want a stable check. And right now, the franchise is, you know, offering them a stable check. And it's just really frustrating, man. Like from, you know, starting from Black Ops 2, when we really started getting into everything, that was the best way to run it, dude. There was no problems with that shit. And now it's just, I don't know, man. It's just virtually impossible to be able to play professionally unless you're the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. And like pro points, no one does pro points anymore. They haven't done pro points since MW.
Yeah.
Like
pro points don't really matter. I mean,
they haven't mattered since IW.
I think they help you in challengers, but that's about it.
Yeah, because don't you have to have like no? It doesn't go that way. Pro points are just, it's weird because you get 2K. You get, the way they did it is that, so I think it's 1,500 the first place, and 500 the second. And they get 2K pro points or something like that. I don't know how much pro points. I haven't played in the challengers. I haven't played competitive Call of Duty in the last 3 years, so I don't know how they're doing everything. I just see and hear people just bitching about like the way they're putting their process in everything.
It needs to be different, but I don't think it'll change. I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, it won't change ever unless they start actually realizing that teams are out there to actually grind for everything they want. Small teams, big team, like semi-big teams, just the process of everything in general. It's insane on what they're doing with it. That's why organizations now, they're building their content. They're building the content house. They're finding financial people. They're finding lawyers. They're finding investors. They're finding everything. So they can produce themselves into something bigger as League of Legends, for an example, CSGO. Like, there's more CSGO teams, and especially Valorant now. Valorant's a better processing keyboard or mouse game from, like, people that never made it pro in CSGO. They can make it pro in Valorant now. And their process of the way they're doing their tournaments is phenomenal. Because they have local teams, small teams, competing in these tournaments that you make money from. And then you have the Challengers League that is the bigger picture of how CSGO does it. So for keyboard and mouse people that play CSGO, Valorant is the best place to go for just the competitive and winning money, so you actually feel like you're doing something instead of grinding a game and playing these ESA, I don't know what they're calling it, but tournaments, and just only getting a certain amount of clout or pro points to be in these open bracket type things, and then get the offer into the pro scene or the semi-pro scene. But from that process, like, that's why a lot of people are leaving CSGO. They're not doing anything in CSGO. They're not making it anymore. They're tired of the same game. And then Valorant comes along, and Riot Games is doing an amazing job with Valorant on everything. And then they're going to get into the process of looking at the top 16 teams and starting a franchising in there. They're going to franchise in there. No doubt. They're going to do the same thing.
It's just so annoying, man. Like, everybody's so worried about... First of all, I feel like if you're going to franchise it and you're going to charge, this amount of money to put a team into the league,
yeah,
I just don't understand why the prize pool doesn't get bigger. The prize pools for Call of Duty, I feel like, I mean, you're making more per major now, but you're not playing as many majors. You know what I mean? You used to play, 30-something, tournaments a year, and now you're playing, I don't even know what they are. I don't know how many majors there are in a year now, but, I mean, instead of one big tournament at the end of the year that everybody looks forward to, now you're more just making your money spread over time, but you have to win those majors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's literally impossible. It's literally impossible to win those majors. That's why they need.
And right now, how they have it set up is so stupid. Like, this happened, I think, in the last stage of Call of Duty, where there's no roster locks. Like, you used to have like I forget what it's called, like
deadline, right?
Basically, yeah, like a trade deadline, or you could trade your players, and then you for the rest of the season you'd be roster locked, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
and that's how it needs to be. You shouldn't be able to play. All right, so say Optic versus 100 Thieves. Optic shouldn't play 100 Thieves with one roster all stage, and then have to play a whole new roster in the major. That shouldn't be allowed. You know what I mean?
Like, because League of Legends, it's forbidden. You have to wait until the season's done to make your trades. Like, it's literally forbidden to make any trades in the process. Like, you can sub people out, but that's different. And then instead of trading, because a lot of people are trading. Like, they were talking about it in this one podcast. Like, they're sick of the trades. You shouldn't be able to trade. Like, it should be forbidden the trade. You have to stick with that team, and then you make your trade at the end after majors.
Right.
Like, I remember in the Ghost scene of competitive Call of Duty, they had a deadline. They had a deadline so they would play the first couple months, and then I think it was January or February, they had a trade deadline before rosters lock, because that's when stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 of the tournaments to compete in, and also for the pro scene to go to COD XP to have your seed. You get first seed, second seed, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc.
Right.
But right now, the way they're doing it, it's like they're just trading. They're trading, and it's unfair to people that keep their solid team because they're like, this team is literally solid. If we split them up, it's not going to be like that because anything can happen in majors.
Yeah,
anything could happen. Like Toronto Ultra,
and
like it's anything can happen in that process because if you just continue trading because they played whatever, it screws up your team chemistry with that new player, and then you're losing unless you're God Squad, like a fucking God Squad, for an example, like Optic, like they'll trade that one player that's not a good asset to the team, but they have 3 solid veterans that will literally carry them. They just have to carry their own weight during a 1v1 match and like anything else. So with that like agreement and argument and civil conversation with you explaining that and stuff like that, I think it's the most stupidest thing they could ever do in a process of a competitive Call of Duty eSports environment, as well as anything else.
You know, I mean, it's really dumb.
For sure, like
very, very dumb in my opinion.
Like I haven't been in the comp scene long, but I've been in it long enough to understand, and like I was always updated on everything. Like I had post notifications on for the COD, the pro scene, the pro teams, the way they were doing it, bloggers that would blog about them, interviewers. Like it's insane how people are doing everything. And there's an Zuma, for an example. He just retired. Zuma retired based on a hand wrist
and that's
injury.
A big one. That's a big loss.
And people were talking about it like, what is New York gonna do now? Like Zuma was the asset of that team. It sucks to hear that, but like now they're screwed. They made their trade, like they already got their sub and stuff like that, but then Zuma was the asset of the team.
Right. And you know, what's weird is like these pros, they don't understand like how dead the community is now, but like people like me who like play GBs and stuff like that constantly, bro, GB is absolutely dead. It takes hours to find a match. You know what I mean? When it used to be you just get on and there's matches posted 24/7. You know, it didn't matter if it was 5 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be a match posted. Now you might have until like 10:30 to find a match, and then it's over.
Because
and even then you're still
they made GBs global because not enough people are playing it.
Nobody's playing, bro. CMG is dead. Yeah, it's almost impossible to find wager matches. It seems like it's just every chance for us to play is gone pretty much.
Yeah, because it's Warzone is the best thing, but there's not a lot of like you literally have to research your tournaments for Warzone.
Yeah, I feel like the only chance like regular Call of Duty players that are trying to make it have is to play like leagues that are hosted by random people on Twitter, and so on and so forth, or like because right now GBs used to be what we had for practice. Now we really only have league play. That's what we have for practice, and it's miserable.
Scrims,
like league play sucks.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I remember
it feels so redundant. It just
we used to find scrims like 20, like literally we'll finish the scrim, post, be like, we're looking for a scrim, boom, done. It literally hasn't been the same for GBs since Black Ops 3.
Yeah, no.
Like Black Ops 3 was the last time that GBs were big. Well, no, that's false. World War II. World War II was another thing because they were still doing those local MLG, UMG, and
I'm pretty sure it was still the CWL in World War II. It wasn't CDL yet.
Yeah,
it was the World League.
Yeah, it was the World League, but they had their open brackets for smaller teams. Like, and more regions were getting into it. EU, APAC, like all those type teams. They were traveling, they were coming here, and then they started doing like events where they would go to PAC, for an example, like Australia for an event. They would have their Australian teams in there, which were garbage. I'm sorry
I
to
feel
say.
like the pros even hate this shit. I feel like the pros don't even want it to be this way.
No, they hate it. I guarantee they hate
and the fact
process.
that Scump like has gotten fined so many times for just like saying how he feels about a game, or even like playing another game on stream, he gets fined for this shit. That's so dumb, bro.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, I was looking at a blog and he was getting fined for certain things. I'm like, why? Because he's literally getting bored. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't retired. He says, I'm gonna grind until I can't grind no more. That man's gonna retire soon. He's gonna get tired of like how everything's working. COVID kind of screwed us on all that, so everything's online. Not a lot of people are hosting these LAN tournaments, so they have to
the next stage is actually on LAN again. So
right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I don't know how they want to take this process in anything. It's so like annoying at times.
I mean, it's depressing, dude. It's like, well, you have, as a amateur Call of Duty player, you have nothing to strive for anymore. You might as well just stick to your day job, dude. Like, there's no way for you to make it.
You stick to your day job, or you find a game, or you make content until you make it big.
Yeah.
And the best way to grow your content. Yeah, and the best way to grow your content is Fortnite, because they have these cash cups tournaments, and you place these top, and you play in the scrimmage or whatever, and World League, like the World Cup of Fortnite, and then you either play Warzone and you try to get into these big tournaments, these small tournaments, like how Tommy's doing it. Tommy gave up. Tommy like said, no, this is not the way I wanted it. Like, probably in his head, he's like, this is not what I want. Because he was supposed to play for the Royals. And he's like, no. He just wanted to continue streaming.
Hey, I'm sorry, Jason. I just hit a 5-on headshot. Sorry. I'm playing right now, and I just hit a 5-on
playing
screen
well,
hit.
being on a podcast. Bro. Fucking amazing. Smart.
Dude, I just hit the nastiest clip I think I've ever hit in my life.
That's fucking phenomenal. Amazing multitasking right there. Fucking A, boy. But that's...
I mean, you wouldn't have ever noticed until I said that.
No.
I'm nasty right now, bro. I'm shitting. Oh, my God.
Okay, we get it. You're shitting.
I'm just saying.
I think the fans understand.
I'm currently shitting on the opposition, boys.
Boy.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. Bro, the amount of times you fucking zone out and your ADHD kicks in, you're like, haha. It's so dumb. It is so annoying.
Yeah, you're used to it, though.
Yeah, too much. I'm too used to it. How's that?
But, like, I zone out, but I don't stop talking. You know what I mean? I just, in my head, I'm not really paying attention, but I'm paying attention, but I'm not really. You know what I mean? That's how I get away with, like...
paying attention.
Yeah, that's how I get away, like, get out of trouble with my girlfriend. Is like, she'll be talking, and I listen, but I don't. Just make sure she's not...
So, basically, when... Have you seen that, like, TikTok, when they play the sound and it's like, this is why men are not multitaskers or whatever, is like, we're watching TV and we don't answer and stuff like that. Oh, dude, I don't know how many times I've watched that. Like, the amount of times I've watched that TikTok with, like, certain people, it's funny because I laugh to it because it's so true.
Yeah,
and then, I mean, like, we're men. We're sitting on the couch. We just had a fucking long work day. We just want to watch TV.
Well, it's not that we can't multitask. It's just that we don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why should I care? You do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Don't ask me. You know the answer.
Like, why are you telling me that you're cold? You're the one that's cold. Why should I give a shit? Go get a blanket.
Put some clothes on, like.
Yeah, like, relax. What are you gonna interrupt me in my time when you're the one that's cold? I'm not fucking cold. I feel fine. Like, you go get a blanket. You go get your jacket.
You get your
Like,
fucking
I don't
house
understand.
coat.
Yeah, maybe that's just how I think, but it's like, fuck.
I don't know. You could be like, yeah, okay, come cuddle, but leave me alone. I'm watching my TV show. I recorded
Yeah, but no,
it this
because
morning.
then like if you come cuddle, then now I'm gonna be hot because your body heat. So then I'm not comfortable anymore. So then
Yeah,
it's not
because our
worth
body heat is more fucking overheating than normal. And then when they join, they're actually warm. They're just cold skinned. Like their skin's cold,
Yeah.
but their body temperature is warm. So it's just like it's so claustrophobic. It's so anxiety. You're like, oh yeah, no, I don't like this. I feel like a fucking furnace. I feel like I'm dying in fucking lava type shit. You panic.
Yeah, I mean, I like to cuddle sometimes, but it's got to be freezing, dude. That's the only time when I really enjoy it.
Nah, I cuddle in bed.
Nah,
Bro,
bro.
I do. And
I
then
mean,
in
like
my
maybe
sleep,
to
I roll
start.
over.
Yeah, no, like to start, I might cuddle, but like once I'm ready, like I might not fall asleep yet, but like once I'm ready to go to sleep, get off of me. Like, don't touch me anymore. Get out of my spot.
No touchy. Don't touch me. Stop touching me.
Seriously. No, like my girlfriend, I'll be cuddling with her, and then I'm ready to go to bed, dude. I like fling her off me, bro. Get away.
Yeah, but
Dink.
for me, when I fall asleep, dude, when I fall asleep, I know I'm warm, so I just roll over. And then later on in the night, you wake up, like for example, you go to the washroom, you come back to bed, they're like full body slam on you, like boom. I'm like, I just woke up because I'm fucking heating, like overheating, and I have to use the washroom. And you want to come over here and fucking cuddle on me? Like, come on. Like, I know you.
Yeah, no,
us.
I think my biggest thing with my girl is that, like, I play most of the night practicing, and she's got the bed all to herself, and she starfishes the whole fucking bed. So then when I'm ready to get into bed, I have to wake her up, and she gets all pissed off, and then she starts touching me, and I don't want her to because I want to go to bed, and then it's just a big clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's like you have to go to bed with them at the same time, or
yeah, like
you're
you were already sleeping. Go back to bed. Just get out of my spot. That's all I was asking. Like, you're all up in my side. I only have 2.5 inches. We have a whole king bed. Like, relax.
They take everything, but no, with my like
everything: money, clothes, cars, bed.
You're going that extreme?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
She always wants to take my car. She's got her own.
They like to smell you. They like to smell that cologne.
Now she's mad. I've been talking too much shit.
So
now she's trying to like ask me questions and shit.
Questions about what? They already know.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
They already know the answer. They just want to hear it so they can bitch at you.
Yeah. That's the problem is, like, she asks me dumb shit that she doesn't really want the answer to, but when I do answer, then she gets mad at me and bitches because
when you're honest and truthful. Like, when you're honest and truthful and they're like, what the fuck? And they
like, yeah. Like, oh, you must not love me anymore.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, that's what they say. Oh my god, you must not love me.
Okay, but us guys are the worst.
Yeah,
we're the worst.
I don't even know how they get it.
We're the worst overthinkers.
She said I'm sleeping on the couch. That's funny.
I'd fucking take it. All right, peace. I go to that couch.
Yeah, fine. Like, at least it'll be cold. She just punched me, dude.
No, but like it's true. Like we don't generally. We're simple guys. We're the most simple people in the world.
Yeah, all I want to do is play my fucking game. That's it.
Well, not that, but we're simple to make happy. We're simple, but when it gets to the point of like,
you know what it is.
we
come here, slurp on his dangalang. That's all I want.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
When I get home, I want
maybe
that
like
sloppy toppy.
hell yeah, like that. If it ain't like that, I don't want it. Go to bed.
That's all I want from you.
And then maybe sometimes I'll get all like lovey-dovey and I might want some kisses. That's it.
After they give you sloppy toppy?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's my ding-a-ling.
Yo, same. Yeah. I don't know why guys have a problem with that. You're swapping spit anyways. You're swapping the same saliva. Like, it's like you eating out a girl. It's the same process.
It's weird how like some dudes will like literally brag about how they eat their girl's ass, but then like you won't kiss her after she sucks on your wang, bro.
Like when you're going into the
part of your body.
Like
I know for sure most of these dudes don't wash their hands after they piss and then they go eat a sandwich. Well, there you go. You sucked your own dick, dumbass.
You basically ate your own fucking balls. Ball juice.
Nasty.
The ball sweat.
I mean, I don't wash my hands after I piss anyways, so I'm just talking shit. No, it's my dong, bro. Like, why, you know what I mean? Well, it literally is a part of my body all day, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Why am I going to wash my hands after I touch it? That's whack.
Well, you're at home. I would at like a public area because you don't know.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to like touch shit that other people touch with dick hands. So you wash your hands.
That's why you Superman it sometimes.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I
don't even touch it. I just whip it out of my underwear. Like, but that's why I like wearing boxers because it's got the little dick hole, dude. You just pull it through the dick hole and just let it rock.
That easy access.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always.
Hey Jason, I'm gonna make a whole entire montage just while we're doing this. I just hit a 6-man.
I just hate the matter of fact that you're playing a fucking video game and focusing on that, but still having a conversation and talking. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Professional, boy.
I know what you mean in a matter of fact, too. As well towards that conversation, like you could do. You're a multitasker. Me, I hyper focus. I can't do that. There's no way I can do that.
Trust me, I know you still haven't done my last header.
Yeah, because I've been focusing on other stuff, like hyper-focusing. Like, I have a job. Like, oh, dude, there's so much stuff. And it's just going to be a process of everything. So.
Right.
But, anyways, guys, we're going to cut the podcast there. Special thank you to Kevin Proph for joining me on this very first podcast of Roadrunners. Shout out to Tenacity Gaming. Also a huge shout out to Orion Sectors. Go follow them on Twitter. They're making the biggest moves ever. And we'll hope to see you guys on the next podcast next Friday. Have a nice one.